Hello, welcome to Movie Musters. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 1 Review, Gangstas Don't Die. When was the last time we enjoyed a fresh hour of Power Book 3 Raising Kanan? It has felt like an eternity since we experienced the events of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3 Episode 10, and I must admit, I required a recap of everything that transpired in that intense finale, making this hour quite a fortunate return. Instead of continuing directly from where we left off, the show opted for a different approach, taking us back in time to revisit moments we previously experienced that led to the surprising finale. I was uncertain about the choice to rewind 3 months, considering we had already gone through these events, right? And if they were showcasing new elements now, why weren't they included in the first place? Well, the answer became apparent as some of the initial visuals from Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 1 showed an alive Unique making his way to a payphone. We all knew Unique was still alive, undeniably, but the most intriguing aspect of the entire hour was witnessing how he crawled out from the woods and eventually reached that deserted warehouse over 3 months. We recognized Unique as a survivor, yet he was driven by feelings of betrayal and revenge as he motivated himself toward that payphone. He was fortunate someone was present to take the call, as he likely wouldn't have made it otherwise. Early brought plenty of humor and was a refreshing addition to the season right from the start. He was primarily driven by self-gain, but he was also the sole reason Unique began to improve, and the pair should make for an engaging duo. To begin with, this Unique was not the same person. Unique had always focused on his interests and getting what he thought he deserved, but we also observed his emotional barriers crumble during his brief romance with Rak, as the two shared more in common than they initially realized. Rak often kept Unique at arm's length during Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3, while Unique appeared to be more emotionally invested, showing his feelings more clearly through his actions and words. When Unique died, Rak experienced moments of grief for what could have been, yet she didn't linger on it and continued moving forward, which could encapsulate her entire life philosophy if you reflect on it. As Unique started to recover, you could sense that any trace of softness within him had vanished, and rightfully so. The trauma of his brother attempting to kill him would leave a mark that would never fade. One quality that remained with Unique was his obstinacy. Regardless of Early's advice, he struggled to rest when it was in his best interest. This was not just for his health but simply due to the reality that he was altered, as head injuries of that severity tend to do. As he gradually regained his strength, you could see he became more deeply immersed in his anger. All it took was a few small pieces of information regarding Rak and Kanan to launch him into a full-scale revenge mission. And isn't it fascinating how quickly we can hear something and then leap to every possible conclusion to support the anger we feel? Unique wasn't in the best mindset, but he was determined to get revenge on Ronnie and anyone else he believed was to blame for what had happened to him. Sadly, Rak and Kanan fell into the same trap once he began to hear about their activities. Ideally, Unique would have approached Rak directly so they could devise a strategy together, but who could he trust? His own sibling wanted him dead, so why would he assume his unexpected return would be welcomed when others had something to gain with him out of the way? Early was right in advising Unique to lie low, as it may have appeared he was defeated, but he really had an advantage. He could operate quietly, identify vulnerabilities, and strike when the moment was right. Kanan takes action, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3 Episode 7. Stars/Karahau. It will surprise Rak when she eventually discovers that Unique is not just back but also returning as a rival, particularly after the events of this episode. It's intriguing to revisit particular moments from the previous season, especially knowing Rak was pregnant and grappling with her personal dilemmas. Hearing her tell the nurse before going through with the abortion that she had one previously was truly heartbreaking. Rak has faced and endured a tremendous amount in solitude, and when you begin to think of the various aspects of her life, it becomes clearer why she behaves. However, understanding all of this doesn't justify her behavior because Rak has engaged in some troubling actions. Rak does what is necessary for her survival and to safeguard her loved ones without exception, but in doing so, she often strips them of their autonomy. She has fostered an environment where those she cares about no longer trust or respect her, which gnaws at her, no matter what she asserts. Deep reflection, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3 Episode 4. Stars/Karahau. When Rak tells Kanan that she will love him no matter what, although true, it likely feels to Kanan like another instance of her trying to manipulate him, as he has struggled to believe her for a long time due to her past actions. The dynamic between Rack and Kanan will always remain central, and this episode provided a deeper understanding of what Rack was facing while attempting to undermine Ronnie's operations. Rack stands out as a unique character because, despite her shortcomings, there's an aspect of her that feels relatable in a world dominated by men, where she fights to survive in any way possible. The series effectively explores her multifaceted nature and showcases her complexities. It was a bit disheartening not to immediately delve into the repercussions of Ronnie and Howard's death. Nevertheless, several intriguing developments arose that are likely to resonate throughout the remainder of the season, including Marvin's side venture with Stefano. Since the first season of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Marvin has made notable improvements in every aspect of his life. On a professional level, he has become more dependable, something Stefano recognized and took advantage of. I'm fully supportive of Marvin and Lulu seeking out their own autonomy and no longer allowing Rack to have such a controlling presence in their lives. However, it's clear that Marvin's collaboration with Stefano, kept secret from Rack, will likely create problems down the line, even though he absolutely has the right to pursue his own interests. Rack dislikes being excluded from important matters and is concerned that Marvin's actions could jeopardize the business plans she established with Stefano. There's an interesting dynamic developing here, and I'll be closely observing how the relationships between the three evolve now that we have additional. In other parts of the episode, the focus mainly shifted to Unique's recovery in revealing what everyone was engaged in during the last 3 months we didn't witness, but to be truthful, it wasn't particularly captivating. Jess's return was not thrilling, and while the scenes with Jukebox were pleasant, showcasing her support system from Aisha and Nicole's father, Kanan's exploration into his grandfather's past turned out to be surprisingly intriguing given the tense relationship Joyce has with her children. Although she showers Kanan with affection, the dynamics with her biological kids are different, likely due to Marvin stepping in to care for them after their father's passing. Marvin waits outside, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3 Episode 10. Stars. Was everything uncomplicated in the family back then? Certainly not, and perhaps this will be delved into more, as there should be ample opportunities for family interactions and discussions with Joyce's illness looming. Lulu remains on the periphery, and Joyce's condition may compel them all to confront their pasts and find a way to make reparations in the present, which could prove beneficial. Family has consistently been a central theme in Power, and the Thomas family has been fragmented for quite some time. It will be intriguing to see how this circumstance impacts their ability to unify or potentially leads to greater division. No disrespect to Jessica, but her connection with Lulu felt forgettable, and I struggle to see what her return contributes to the story at this point. However, the uncertainty surrounding Famous might lead to an interesting plotline. Nicole's dad being Jukebox's biggest supporter remains one of the few heartwarming elements in a show mostly lacking them. I can only imagine he would be heartbroken to witness what she ultimately becomes. Concern Jukebox, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3 Episode 10. Unique and Rack have always been formidable adversaries, but there was also something fitting about their romantic involvement. I'm torn between feeling excitement for their impending rivalry or sadness that the tenderness seems to be lost. I wonder if Rack's encounter with Howard at the police station influenced her decision to kill him. No matter how he acted or what he said, a part of her would always struggle to trust him because, well, Power fans, we're finally back. This was a unique yet intelligent way to reintroduce everything and set the stage for this season. There's plenty to discuss after this episode, so make sure to comment below so we can chat about it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.